Welcome to the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting. If you want effective and actionable tips to simplify the overwhelm of launching and managing your podcast, then this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Verity Songon, podcast manager, launch strategist, and host of a Top 100 podcast. I'm really excited to have you here, so without further ado, let's dive into the episode. Welcome to the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting. If you want effective and actionable tips to simplify the overwhelm of launching and managing your podcast, then this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Verity Songon, podcast manager, launch strategist, and host of a Top 100 podcast. I'm really excited to have you here, so without further ado, let's dive into the episode.
Hello there and welcome back to another episode of the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about Descript. In my opinion, the audio editing tool that every podcaster needs to know about. I was really inspired to create this episode because so many people ask me, how do you edit your podcast episodes, or what is an easy and quick way for me to edit my podcast episodes? And this is definitely the tool that you need if you want the answer to either of those questions. We know that editing is an essential part of the podcasting process. It's the stage where you really fine-tune your audio, you add music, and make sure that everything sounds just right and just how you want it before hitting publish. But editing can be time consuming and also challenging, especially if you are new to the podcasting world. And there are some statistics that even go as far as to suggest that editing can take 3 to 4 times longer than it took to record an episode in the first place. So if you're doing an episode that lasts 30 to 45 minutes, you could be taking a good couple of hours to edit that statistically. There's a lot of time, particularly when you're and you just think that is a lot of time, particularly when you're an entrepreneur or business leader and you've got other projects to handle. Because let's face it, not everyone is in the position to hire out their podcast management and editing. And that is where Descript comes in. Descript is a powerful audio and video editing tool that can simplify the editing process and make it more accessible to podcasters of all levels. So that is what I really want to explore today, and how you can use a tool such as Descript to save yourself a lot of time in the editing processes. So first of all, what is Descript? Well, Descript.com is a powerful audio and video editing tool that allows you to edit audio and video content as easily as editing a Word document. It has an intuitive interface and offers a range of features that can really help you, and either as a podcaster or video content creator, to streamline your workflow, including features such as transcription, editing, and collaboration tools. You can upload audio or video files to the platform where they will be automatically transcribed into text. And from there, you can edit the text to make changes to the audio or video using the platform's unique text-based editing features. This allows you to simply delete or modify words in the text, and those changes will be automatically reflected in the audio or video. So if you don't like a sentence, you just highlight it in the script, delete it, and it will be deleted from the audio and video. Descript.com also offers advanced features like noise reduction, automatic leveling, and multi-track editing, making it a really comprehensive editing tool for podcasters and video content creators alike. So you're probably thinking, Verity, this all sounds very, very well and good, but how much is Descript? So as of May 2023, when this podcast episode is being recorded, Descript has got 4 pricing plans starting from $0 per month and ranging right up to customized plans for bigger organizations. For most podcasters, though, the free creator or pro plans should be sufficient, and it really depends on how much transcription or how many transcription hours you want per month. So on the free plan, for example, you get an hour of transcription per month. And for the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting, because all of our episodes are only 10 minutes or shorter, this is all I need for the entire month, and that worked perfectly for me. However, if you're wanting to transcribe and edit longer episodes, such as those in my other podcast, the Confident CEO podcast, the Creator Plan, which offers 10 hours of transcription per month, which sits currently at $12 per month, would be better suited to that particular podcast. So how can podcasters use Descript? Well, there's a variety of ways. At the moment, and in my opinion to date, the only transcription service that can give Descript a run for its money is Otter.ai, but that is only to date. I've got a load of transcription softwares that I am going to be testing out and doing podcast episodes and blog reviews over the coming months. However, I found that Descript's transcriptions have a high rate of accuracy, except for my name. But you know what? The name Verity Songon, I would be amazed if any transcription service got that right first time off the bat. Descript's transcription features can automatically transcribe audio recordings into text, making it easy for podcasters to create written transcripts of their episodes. And these transcripts can be used for accessibility purposes, to create show notes, blog posts, or just to make it easier to search for specific content within the episode. Many podcast hosting platforms, including Buzzsprout, even have a functionality where you can upload your transcript to your episode. And whilst this isn't 100% necessary, not a lot of podcasters bother with putting transcripts in their episodes, having your transcript uploaded with your episode makes your audio more accessible to a wider audience and can help with SEO purposes. Editing. Again, as I've already mentioned, to me, this is really where Descript comes into its own. Descript's text-based editing feature allows podcasters to simply edit their audio as easily as it is to edit a document. You just select the section of text that you don't want, and Descript will automatically delete that from the audio or video once you've removed this section from the script. It could not be simpler. Collaboration. Descript's collaboration features make it easy for multiple people to work on the same project simultaneously. So this is great if you've got a co-host or you want somebody else in your team to be part of that editing process. Noise reduction. Now, personally, I haven't used the noise reduction feature myself, but Descript does have noise reduction features within it that can help clean up your audio recordings and remove background noise, making the final product more professional. So as I said, I haven't used that function personally, but that could be something useful for you depending on what your recording setup is like. Descript has also got multi-track editing features which allow you to edit multiple tracks at once, which can be really useful for podcasts who have got complex audio setups, or if you're using a platform such as Zencaster or Riverside for your recordings where you get an audio track per speaker for your episode. Some pros of Descript.com. I find it very easy to use, very user-friendly interface, and it can be used on both Mac and PC. It's got powerful editing capabilities, as I've already touched on, and you can remove filler words and correct spelling and grammar errors. The ability to create short-form video and audiograms is amazing. We know that in 2023, video is king, and thanks to TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram, short-form video content is now more popular than ever. So whilst you can make audiograms in podcast hosting platforms such as Buzzsprout, it can be a little time-consuming getting your timings aligned to include the exact audio that you want. However, Descript makes this really, really easy. You just highlight the text that you want, and with a click of a button, you can then take that piece of audio and create your own clip that you can then download and share to your different social media platforms. Cloud storage. If, like me, you work across multiple devices, then you'll understand the frustration of localized saving, which means that you can't access your projects on every device. And we all know that I love GarageBand, but if I'm editing a podcast episode, it can be a little irritating knowing that if I start editing on a desktop, I can't continue on my laptop without saving and uploading the work to somewhere like G Drive or Dropbox. However, Descript doesn't have that issue because it saves your work remotely on the cloud. So you can just go and work across any device and pick up on your work on Descript where you left off. There are a few cons of Descript which I want to go through, including its limited free version. Although you've got some great perks of the free plan, it is limited in terms of you only get that 1 hour of transcription per month, and the filter word removal isn't as in-depth as you get on some of the paid plans. Transcription accuracy, as much as I think that the transcriptions are incredibly accurate, at the end of the day, it is an AI tool. So it will only give you as good as what you give it. So if you are giving it poor audio quality or something with loads of background noise, Descript can only work with what you're giving it at the end of the day. Limited features. I do feel that for podcasters who want a really easy way to edit their episodes, Descript offers that perfect solution. However, it's important to remember that first and foremost, Descript is a transcription tool, and therefore if you want really high-tech, high-end audio editing tools, you're probably going to be wanting to look for a different tool for that type of editing functionality. However, overall, if you're looking for a tool that is really easy to transcribe and edit your podcast episodes and dramatically reduces your production workflow time, I would highly recommend that you check out Descript. If you want to try out their free plan, you can head over to the link in the show notes, veritysongon.com/Descript, and you can try out the free version of Descript, have a play around with it, see how you like it, and then either stick with the free version or you can move on to a paid plan. But I hope you found that useful. As I said, when I get asked what is the easiest way that I can edit my own podcast audio, I always recommend Descript for the reasons that we have discussed. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting. If you love this episode, I think you'll love being on my email newsletter list, where I send out weekly podcasting tips to help you create, host, and grow a podcast that you love. To join, go to veritysongon.com/newsletter or hit the link in the show notes. Until next time, happy podcasting. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Lazy Girl's Guide to Podcasting. If you love this episode, I think you'll love being on my email newsletter list, where I send out weekly podcasting tips to help you create, host, and grow a podcast that you love. To join, go to veritysongon.com/newsletter or hit the link in the show notes. Until next time, happy podcasting.